Hey, you've just pressed play on the Nerd Mixtape. Thank you for joining us. My name's Jim.
Claudia. And Melinda.
And today we're going to talk about Ozark, the Netflix original show starring Jason Bateman. So, Ozark, it was freaking amazing and intense. So, what do you guys think?
I watched it back when it came out. We had to wait for this guy to get on the ball. 2 months later.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since we last watched it. I think we watched it the same weekend, right?
Pretty much.
So it's been a while, so I may be like a
little
fuzzy with the details, but overall, I really liked it. I remember when I first telling you about it that it was kind of like a fast-paced Breaking Bad. But yeah, overall, I mean, I really enjoyed the show.
I've never watched Breaking Bad, maybe just like a couple of episodes, but this one was intense. Like, I liked the family plots. I liked the drama. I mean, I liked it. Kept me hooked, and that happens, as you guys know, it's very difficult for me to like get into stuff, and I like this one. Like, my husband and I, we watched it throughout a week, but that was like our daily, like, okay, eat dinner, go to the gym. No, we didn't go to the gym. Eat dinner, and then watch 2 episodes of this because it was really good.
Sure, and the way Melinda got me into it, she just told me, she's like, Breaking Bad?
It was Melinda and I.
Okay.
I'm sure I had some kind of influence in there.
So, well, what I remember when Melinda and when you guys told me about this show.
It's because it was during OLS.
Yeah.
During our, where was our thing called?
I don't know. Incident Command.
Incident Command.
Yeah. So we were there, and Melinda goes, hey, Breaking Bad. So this show, Ozark, starts like Breaking Bad season 2, like in the first 20 minutes. And I was like, no way. Okay, I got to check this out.
Yeah, I'm like the first, I guess every episode is like one season of Breaking
Sure,
Bad.
I guess when you put it that way, it's true. And like speaking of that, in the very first episode, it just kind of starts off with this guy, and he just has like this. He catches his wife cheating. Like, he's watching this video, and you kind of figure, okay, what the heck is this guy into? It
was super weird because he was watching a video of some
adults.
Yes. In front of clients,
yeah.
Which was super weird. I'm like, oh no, Jason Bateman, I don't want to see him like that. I thought he was gonna be like some like weird dude into some kinky stuff, but yeah, it was his wife.
Yeah, so it was crazy because he was there in front of some clients, and he saw this video, and is like, where's this going? Where's this going? And then you kind of figure out like this whole thing where he caught his wife. Pretty much, it's his wife. And it's like, oh man, it's about like this guy. I thought it was going to be like the similar Breaking Bad, like this loser kind of like, what kind of character would you call Walter White?
He's an anti-hero.
Like an anti-hero, but before that, like where he was just kind of like a nerd. Like a nerd.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah. But then Jason Bateman wasn't. Like, he's quick-witted. He can defend himself. He can talk his way out of things, which is really cool.
It was weird seeing a character like that because I too... even in the first episode, he was kind of, I don't know how to describe his character. It was very quiet. Like, he didn't really have a strong character. Mm-hmm. But as the first episode went on, you saw how fast, he spoke fast. He was very witty. He was able to think himself out of situations and stuff. He was like a cool, like, rebel, still like good guy. I don't know. It was weird seeing him that way.
Yeah. So the thing with Jason Bateman, like, there was a part, as you mentioned, he was kind of a good guy. I didn't see him so evil. I didn't see him too evil.
He's like an anti-hero.
He's an anti-hero, but he doesn't get his hands dirty. Like, he was always trying to help people. Like, they threaten someone, and he tried to do it. Here's some money. Like, whatever you do, don't hurt these people. And that was like a part of his character where he was like a bad guy, but didn't want like to be fully bad, like I guess where Walter White was.
He gave in at the end. He gave
in, and he was like, he went fully bad, you know. So what other characters did you like? Any other characters from the show, or weird? They had a bunch of weird characters, right?
Yeah,
like those trailer park people.
Yeah, the Langleys, I believe that's what they're called. Yeah,
I liked Ruth, even though at the beginning I hated her, but I kind of like felt bad for her because you saw their struggle. The kids weren't evil. It's just the way they were like raised, and then the parents, and I mean the uncle, the way they were treated, and Ruth was technically given a chance by Marty, and she started changing. So I like the evolution of her character throughout the show. Like, you really saw her from going from this like, she didn't care about it. She was a troublemaker, and then he gives her this opportunity, makes her manager. She believes in herself, and then suddenly she starts changing. So I really liked her character. I was angry at the wife. If I was Marty Bird, I don't think I would take her. I would be like, kill her.
Really?
Oh my god!
Don't kill me! Kill her! She cheated on me.
So note to
Because
self.
of an affair? Pablo,
That
be careful.
was intense.
No.
That was like an intense affair. It was a viejito.
Yeah, it was a lawyer, but it was the whole
slapping
thing.
her, and this guy's watching the video, like.
Yeah, with his private investigator, and they did this a lot. Like, it was a long affair, pretty much. And
So, the blonde one, Ruth, that's a blonde curly haired girl, right? So at the beginning, I did not trust her. We knew that she was a thief. Like, I didn't like it, but he was so trustworthy, like or like trusting of her.
Yeah.
And she started off as a dishwasher, and then like he ended up giving her the club toward the end, and I don't know, you just saw that he trusted her, and she had plenty of opportunities to kill him and screw him over and stuff. And she at the end, at that point, I think when her uncle died or something, and someone died, right? I don't know.
It was
and
her. It was her uncle.
She went. Oh, she's
the one
killed
that did
them.
it.
She electrocuted them
To save Marty.
save him. And when Marty realized what happened, like they hugged and they had that whole scene. I'm like, I wouldn't have seen that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see that coming. As for the wife, I was hesitant. I didn't know how to feel about her. I liked that she was able to like get on top of she saw the bad thing that was going on, but she jumped on it. And I know that she felt resentment toward her husband and stuff when she told the kids, like, your dad's here to launder money. Like, she straight up told this like 9-year-old little boy,
Yeah.
But then
which is weird. But it was I don't know, like at one point when they were in the car and Marty's like, we're not married anymore, we're partners, like we're just trying to stay alive and get through this. I'm like it was I don't know, it was weird to hear that coming like from a show.
At first I was shocked, like how she going along with all of this. Like he tells her what happened, and they were packing, and he drops the bomb on her, or you think he drops the bomb on her, like I'm gonna launder money and we need to get out of here because we're gonna get killed, and she takes it so easily. But then in the next episodes you see the flashbacks of how they were led to that decision. They were struggling. She got in that accident. She lost her baby, and then. You see them discuss, like, look at all the money that we'll have if we
never have to worry about money again.
And, I mean, that's kind of how you see, okay, this wasn't dropped on her. Like, she was in it
was a
with
part of the
him.
decision.
She knew.
It was a decision that they both talked about when they were in that club or wherever with Dell.
Yeah.
And so, it was this conscious decision that they both made. So she wasn't as innocent as thought. And then, of course, the infidelity and all that stuff. So you felt betrayed. I can see that.
Like when they're leaving and she pulls all the money and she goes with Sancho, like,
oh, she was gonna screw him over.
my
I
god!
was so mad at her for doing that.
Because at that point she gave up on him and said, he advised her, you take all that money out because they're gonna freeze assets and you won't be able to get any of it. So take it out. And he's like, your wife just emptied the bank accounts. And it was screwed up.
That was crazy.
And then like Marty's there and the private investigator tells him, hey, he lives over here. They're probably at his apartment.
Yeah.
And he went in the body just...
And at that point, he still works with her. Like,
well,
but
because,
again, like he's like, you're not my wife. Like he didn't at that point. He was just so.
How did you get the kids to come along? He almost used them. He almost used her as a means for the children to come along. Because where's mom?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. We need to leave. That wouldn't have fly. That wouldn't have.
Especially now with that daughter. Can I have $10 for psoriasis?
Oh, I love that.
That was hilarious. That was so
I love
good.
She got diagnosed with psoriasis. Like, you're not dying, dude.
And what did he say? What was this comment? He's like, oh, you're going to donate for itchy skin.
Kids with flaky skin. I was like, that's not what it is.
So you guys kind of compared. One of us here is very similar to one of the characters. And
So I told Jim was it before you started? It was before you even watched anything, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like you are Jason Bateman in this show. Like just personality-wise, the way he reacts to people, the comments that he makes. I'm like, if Jim was ever placed in that situation, like, he would be Jason Bateman.
Yeah, so I did see that myself sometimes too.
Good looking.
No, someone said
That's what you would say of yourself.
No. But I did see like this kind of. I mean, he's pretty much for the most part straight arrow with like his business until this opportunity came along. And not that I would ever do that. But speaking of that, do you see yourself? I know we're like this is going to be evidence, but I mean.
Hypothetically.
Would that situation come to you? Would you ever? I mean, obviously, no, we wouldn't. Obviously,
I'd be too scared.
Obviously, police.
I'd be too scared.
Redact that. No, but there was a lot of good characters, a lot of good moments within the first 20 minutes. You see Del, just how serious these guys are.
I really liked the scene when he first went to their company, to Marty's and his BFFs, and he gave him that binder, and you heard him say, like, I've been to dozens of other, companies or, group, I don't know what they were, like a partnership.
Advisors.
They were financial advisors.
Yeah, and he's like, and no one's ever looked past it, but then he saw Marty, he's like, that's wrong, this person is, like, messing you up. Like, he just, like, full on nerded out, and I loved it. I love seeing him do that. Like, just, I don't know, when people are, I've told you guys, like, when people are super passionate about, like, the stuff that they love, like, it makes me so happy. And just seeing him with, like, numbers and just being a nerd, I loved it.
Yeah, it was super cool just seeing how skilled he was and good at his job. So there was a part where him and Bruce, he gets called in the middle of the night. And at that point in the beginning of the show, you don't know what dirty business he's in. You know he's into something, but honestly, you guys didn't tell me if it was money laundering or anything. You guys just mentioned that it's kind of like Breaking Bad, and that he needed to pretty much, there's something with this guy, right? And so then you find out, you get there and they're like, my money's missing. And you're like, okay, what is this guy? Oh, money laundering. And you kind of like, they give you little bit here and there. And then they finally explain how serious it is, like the stealing and the story that he told. I don't know if you remember the story.
With the dad?
About like, he's like, my dad had a store.
No, like a, what was it?
Yeah, she was like a clerk. Yeah. And she stole like $10 or $5 or whatever. And it's like, what would you do? And then like Marty later on says, you would fire her because this is the first time you've caught her. Yeah. And so that was a super, super cool, scary. Like Del was just like imposing and scary. He like assassinated Bruce and the girl.
It was at that point graphic. In that one of the flashbacks where they were in the club and he shot the dude in the head, and you saw how well,
no, it was actually
you saw something
and they scooped out the eyes.
Yeah, it was so like you actually saw it, and you guys know, like I love seeing stuff like that, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, be careful with Melinda.
To me, it was he was scary because we hear about this all the time.
Sure.
But then when they dropped in the white cartels, también, I was like, oh, this is a standoff. And then to me, it became like, oh my God, who's scarier? Because they were psychos too. Like,
I felt that they were more unhinged. They were very unhinged.
Nuts.
Like the cartels are more reasonable compared to the Snells, the old couple. Like at that point where the club owner comes over and he's apologizing to him, and he's like, oh, I'll have some lemonade. So they're good friends. He hugs them and everything. And just like that, the wife comes in, oh, I dropped my lemonade. Needle to the back of the neck, and you're dead,
Yeah,
screwed up.
That scene when Marty, like, thought of a plan. He's like, everyone's gonna win. It's win, 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 win. Yeah. Like, as Michael Scott. Like, so win, win, win. And then the guy, what was his name? Like, it wasn't Del, right?
Del,
it was the guy over him?
Well, we never saw him, but Del makes a phone call. It was him
when he says, like, something hillbillies or something.
Yeah, he's like, you made the rednecks with these rednecks.
And the wife shoots him.
Yeah, he's like, what did you say? And he turns around, I said, you're gonna whatever, and boom,
I was so mad. Because Marty was so close to getting everything.
That was brilliant. That was a brilliant plan.
Like, everyone would have won, and it was
the hot-headed wife. That's what
it went down the drain.
Yeah, so that was just super cool moments. I know we talked a little bit about the other characters. I really liked the Langley family at first. Like, oh, why are they a part of this? I mean, they're kind of like a tragic family. There's just bad situations, bad leaderships, all that kind of stuff. The sons, one really smart. He wanted to go to college. Like they knew he had a better life. Yeah. Well, he made it up a couple times. Was that really what he wanted to do?
I don't know. But when he said that he wanted to be a journalist, I got super excited. And I found out he was lying. I'm like,
oh yeah. But he was into like science fiction. He was into books. He liked to read. And I mean, that was cool. These characters that they were just put in this bad situation. They had to survive, and that's how they lived. But some cool things, cool characters. I like the Russ. It was kind of like a real sad, there's this love story that was brewing there. Russ, the bearded hillbilly guy. Ruth.
With the FBI guy?
With the FBI agent.
Was
gross, right?
Psycho. Like, he was gross. Like, he had a temper. He was just like,
manipulative.
Creepy.
Like, why are you in the FBI? Like,
he was too lost into his undercoverness.
Yeah,
I think.
but like
So,
he was a psycho. Like he went from 0 to 100 real fast. Like and not in a good way.
I thought he was like, it was part of like a bigger plan. I'm like, okay, where is he going? He's making the weird guy with a beard fall in love with him. At some point, there's gotta be some kind of plan to him, and nope. He was just
there was. He wanted to get one so they could rat out the other.
Right.
But then
that one would rat out the other, and then that one would rat out the other.
The black agent. There was a scene where they actually had chon chon, no?
So they alluded to it.
Yeah, because when he started taking off his shoes, when he started taking off his shoes, the guy,
says, "You're being
he's like, how
presumptuous."
presumptuous. Yeah.
Yeah, that he was going to stay the night with them. He's like, oh, okay. Because they had a relationship together. And that's why that guy was real, like, he wanted to be with him. But, this weird story and him getting Russ's, like, friendship and them fishing together. And then, like, this whole, like, they had a relationship multiple times, and it was just crazy. And he used them.
And I know that, like, you, at one point, they had his backstory with his mom, like, being a heroin addict or whatever, so you can kind of feel for him or, like, see where he's coming from, but it didn't make me feel anything for him. I thought he was a creeper.
Oh, the FBI agent?
Yeah, like, I know that he had a whole episode, right, where it was his behind the scenes, his backstory.
So that was a cool twist. Like, you mentioned the flashback. That was actually, like, episode 7 or 8. And so what they did with that was really interesting. Like, so you saw the whole car crash, her lose her third baby. And then you see the FBI agent's backstory with his relationships. And it's weird because it jumps within a flashback. That flashback, they jump within time within that one too. Yeah. So you see when the mom first gets hurt, like, and they take her, and then she gets addicted to the pain medicine, and then she becomes a heroin addict. You know, so that's that fall, like the way that goes, and it's just really interesting the way they did that. Yeah. Super creative episode. That was one of my favorites, I think.
It was 10 episodes, but man, like they kept you pinned. I mean, I was also shocked to learn so much about money laundering. Like, dude, I was like, dang it, I could get a certificate in this now.
Dude, oh my gosh, me too. Like at the beginning, when I first started watching it, like I knew the basis of what money laundering was, but then toward the end, I'm like, I was telling myself, like, we gotta clean our money. Like, what I know what that means. Like, you got to see everything and you learned a lot about it. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like stuff that I didn't know about what money laundering really was, and I learned a few words.
Now I suspect everyone is doing it. Like, that business can't be thriving.
No, they're cleaning. They're cleaning their
money. Money.
That's how they're getting money laundering.
Yeah, and
all my enemies do money laundering. Your money laundering.
Yeah, so that was something that was really cool, like that money laundering.
And like wrapping the money because you find out the animals can get, like, you just
you lost money to roaches and rodents and stuff like that. So they would wrap up the money.
Put it in the actual like machine. Was it the dryer or the washer or both?
So what he would do, he'd put it through the dryer
to make it look like it's been used
in circulation, not just clean, crisp bills, which is really smart.
That's crazy.
So actually making it look used.
Like that scene when they were putting it behind the walls and you see like his 9-year, whatever, I don't know how old he was, like his kid,
like 10, 11-year-old.
Wrapping money. I'm like,
that's family time.
I know. I'm like, that is, like, I was trying to imagine. I'm like, what? I don't know if we, like, I don't know. Like, I can't see.
You would do it to survive.
Yeah. Like, if the need be, like, we would do it, but, like, at that age, I feel like that kid was mature because dude, that scene with the gun, it made me, like, dislike America so much. Like, it was so easy for him to buy. It wasn't like a regular, like a BB gun or like a shot. It was a full-on, like, rifle, like an automatic weapon. It was
to a kid, and the kid who bought it, también.
And then the guy behind the counter just saying, like, you checked the wrong one. Like, you need to put.
Yeah, you're not buying this for someone else. This is for you, right?
For you.
That's a funny story that you mentioned about, like, America, right? Because honestly, I know people that have gone to buy guns and they're buying it as a gift, and you're not supposed to ever buy guns as a gift. So if you're buying it, you tell them, they'll ask you, is this gun for you? Yes is the answer. So what he did, he was telling him that's what the big deal was. And of course, this child or guy, he was not all, like, he was mentally handicapped or challenged. I'm sorry, mentally challenged. So, and no problem, he was just able to walk out with a gun. with filling out a questionnaire and form. And it's kind of like that. There is there's not really a waiting period except for handguns.
It's America.
So
it's like, let's go to Walmart and buy a gun.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I know. I mean, I read stuff and I know how easy it is to buy a gun, but to like see how fast it was, I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
And then for him just to give it to this little kid. Oh my God!
Where did the kid get the money
I'm getting so riled up just thinking about it.
He probably just took it. It was what's his name, Jason Bateman's son. He gave it to him to buy him the gun. He actually even wrote down what kind of gun to buy and ammo.
It was like a picture.
And he just gave him. He just gave it to the man. The man's like, okay, we'll give you that one, and he sold it to him. So that's how it worked. It was kind of messed up. It was really messed up.
I think like of the entire show, the money laundering, the
murders,
affair, the murder, everything, like that was a scene that just like like that was the one that got to me the most, because to me, I mean, obviously I think that was like the most, not realistic. Obviously everything in the show is like plausible, but that's a thing that I see happening. Yeah. I couldn't imagine happening more often, and it upset me. Like, I did not like seeing that.
I just wanted to say it was a semi-auto gun, which is like, it's a rifle. Sorry. I'm just correcting, semi-auto, which means every pull is a fire. Fully auto, you press, and those you can't get unless you have like a special permit from a sheriff. Wow. I've looked into it. So I'm just saying, for like hunting purposes.
GOP over here.
No. Please, no. So yeah, a bunch of cool stuff in that show. You did see that. You did see the whole relationship between like the whole families. I love that scene with the Bobcats where Ruth is just like this brains of
idiots.
it.
They're 2 girls.
Like, we're gonna buy Bobcats so we could breed them. There's an exotic. They're all small time. Small time thinking with like, we're gonna make money off of this and all this stuff. It was just really, really funny moments in the show. Yeah. And with Marty just being so like smart with it.
I loved his character. I loved it.
It was great. There was also another character that threw you off. The episode started with a preacher or the guy going in and trying to stop a gun, like a robbery. Do you remember that? Yeah. And so he gets shot.
Where does he come out?
I don't know I don't know the actor.
Do you know where he came out? Mm-mm. He came out in a show, and I don't. Never mind. I just remembered. Did you ever see the show Pan Am? It was with the flight attendants. Okay, he was a pilot. That's why I couldn't pinpoint where he came out. That's where he was. That's where he came out, I think.
Yeah, I thought that he was like it was a strange addition to the show, and then they show why he's an important part of it, because they were like selling drugs on his boat, the Bibles and the.
It got me so mad.
Yeah, it was kind of a different way of doing things, and the way that the Snells did business and stuff like that. So he was all upset, and the threats that back to the old lady, he's like, I will cut out that baby. And, out of her stomach. And sure enough, I mean, she did, So
at that point, would Mexican cartels do that?
No, they'd kill the lady and kill the baby too, probably.
That's crazy.
And they'd kill the man too. So, or I don't know. It was screwed up. But, I mean, also that baby was too big. I saw the baby. I was like, that's a ginormous big baby, like for being like premature or whatever.
The part when he was going to like baptize the baby.
At the end.
Oh, I thought he was going to... I thought he was going to kill the baby. I thought he was like, he had lost it and that he needed his wife and that he didn't want to have the baby if he didn't have his wife. And I legit thought he was going to murder the baby. Because when you saw him like walking toward the water and he was like throwing the car seat or whatever it was and just like throwing everything in the beach and he just walked. I thought he was going to kill the baby. I did. Did you think? What did you guys think? That. Because he had that baby down there for a long time.
When I saw that.
Is that the last episode?
Yeah, it's the last episode. It's the very last, almost one of the last things you see. So he comes out there. He's like, baby's crying. He just grabs the thing. He's walking through the forest. Kelly was saying he's going to throw the baby in the water. And I said, I don't know. I'm like, and then he's walking to the water and he's like, they're tricking us. He's going to baptize the baby. I said that, like, he's going to baptize the baby. But then like the music, he puts a baby in the water and he's holding straight. And he's just like, I think he made a choice at that point. Like maybe he was, and then he like decided not to or whatever, or just for us to make us think that he's going to kill this baby. And sure enough, he brings him up, but it's a long time underwater. Yeah. It's a long time underwater and the music changes, the tone changes, and it would have been a dark end, I think.
It was, because I thought he was going to baptize the baby at one point also as he was walking toward the water. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. He's going to baptize the baby. He's going to be fine. And then he just kept going. Then that's when he started throwing the stuff. I'm like, still gonna baptize. It's fine. He's gonna baptize the baby. And then, but yeah, when he was holding that baby in for a long time, I'm like, oh no, he's gonna murder the baby. And I was terrified. It was, I don't know, like my heart just like it stopped. I was terrified for the baby.
Yeah, that was one thing that was kind of like finished. A lot of storylines were finished. There's like the one that opened up. So I know the Snells mentioned that, like, hey, yeah, you killed Dell, but they'll just send another guy and he'll work with us. And if he doesn't, we got your back. Don't worry about it, Marty. And it's like, oh man, this is screwed up. So with me, the way I was thinking the show was going to go, I didn't know if it was going to be a self-contained thing. Or is this Netflix's prerogative now to create franchises and then build seasons and seasons and seasons? What did you think? Did you think this was going to be a self-contained story? Or you thought it was going to be an ongoing thing?
Netflix is a company, and companies want to make money.
Money, true.
So they make money by making more seasons. So I don't know. I never thought it was just going to be like a one-time thing.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
I mean, depending on the story, like before the last episode, I probably would have thought that it was going to end there because, I mean, I didn't see the whole loophole of the white guys killing the Mexican guy and like, now Marty's reporting to only one. Like, that really, I didn't really see that coming. But based on the success that the show had, I mean, it's obvious that Netflix is probably going to consider it because I've read some stuff that they're kind of struggling. Like, even though they're doing really good, they're struggling.
Yeah, well, they're still in debt, but...
Yeah, so I'm like...
They'll be all right. They'll launder that money.
They know how to clean some money.
Yeah, so I honestly thought it was going to be self-contained without talking to anybody. I was like, okay, this is a self-contained story. And I like self-contained stories. Like, if it just starts and then ends, great. And it was great 10 episodes. Good, I don't need any more. Kind of like I felt like Stranger Things that way, but then we found out Stranger Things season 2 right after the popularity of it. They leave it open enough. Like even with this one, they didn't finish all the storylines, but they ended up going where they finished some and they left some open.
Like 13 Reasons Why.
Like that one should have ended. Like
yeah,
that's
that
it.
should have ended.
Because I liked it, but then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna continue." It's like, well, why?
What is there? What else
is there to
need?
Yeah, it was. There's nothing else to tell. Yeah. So with this one, I thought it was they left things open. The family's together. They're gonna face whatever happens next together. But yeah, and we did mention it earlier. How do you think? Like, who do you think was more likable? Just curious, the Walter White or the Marty Bird? I know you haven't seen Breaking Bad. You need to watch Breaking Bad.
You do, dude.
Pablo plays them sometimes, but if I don't watch it from the beginning,
watch the first episode.
You need to watch it.
You know what? Watch this. Watch the like South American Breaking Bad. I don't know. Or Mexican Breaking Bad. They actually redid it, scene for scene, shot for shot. I can't remember, but it's like the same logo and everything. It's just different actors. Like they did that all over the world. Like with The Office, they've done that too.
It's good. Like, I remember when Breaking Bad first came out, and I told my dad about it. He's like, "Mija, I'm not gonna watch a movie. I'm not gonna watch a show about cocaine or like about drugs or meth or whatever. Like that's not my type of movie or show." And I'm like, no, watch it. Well, my brother ended up watching it before my dad. And then my brother told him, like, Dad, you have to watch it. It's so good. My dad's like, no, why? Like, that's not my type of show. And then finally, we, like, sat down. We're like, Dad, you need to watch this movie. It's about a chemistry teacher in high school. We're like, you were a chemistry teacher in high school. He's super smart. He just happens to, like, make drugs on the side. And my dad's like, okay. So he ended up watching it. That's one of his all-time favorite shows now. Like, he loves it. He loves it.
It's super good. Yeah, check it out.
So all the seasons? How many seasons?
It's like 6 seasons.
6 seasons.
Not too, like, I think maybe 13 episodes.
But yeah, I was going to say, every season has very few episodes.
And the characters are great. Great characters in that one. Yeah.
I'll watch it.
So, I feel like watching Breaking Bad now.
Me too.
Yeah, but who do you think was more likable? Or obviously, I think Jason Bateman was more likable.
It's because I love Jason Bateman.
Yeah, he's great.
I don't know. I've always seen, because the first... I love you haven't seen it. I talked to you about The Switch, right?
Yeah, I haven't
You've never seen it. Have you seen it?
Ashley.
Jennifer
Aniston.
Yeah, with Ashley. You've seen it, right?
I saw it. It's not one of my favorites of him.
I liked him because he's like this geeky, nerdy guy that's just like awkward in that movie.
He always plays awkward.
I know, no.
No,
In Zootopia, he was
okay. Zootopia, the
like a villain.
He also came out in that movie with that other lady, the one about the where he's trying to get her because she stole his credit card.
Yes, with Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, what's the name of that movie?
I forgot. Tammy. Tammy?
Sure, sounds about right.
Tabby.
Sure, that's the cat.
Tammy.
Tammy, probably.
I think it's Tammy.
I don't know if it's that.
Yeah, so, when he finds her and then he starts chasing her and he like rear ends the vehicle and she's like,
whole journey,
oh, my neck hurts.
No, I saw him in Arrested Development. You know, I thought he was great in that show. Very same humor, probably the same character. He very dry humor, but he like cares about his family, that whole kind of thing. So I like that. He was good in that. Also in Extract with Mila Kunis, which is a Mike Judge movie. Super good. He's great in that too. He's just great all around. I really like Jason Bateman. But I like Walter White too at first. And then you're like, oh, okay, this guy's a bad guy. He's doing bad stuff. And it's crazy. But like, I never felt that toward Marty Byrde. Like I felt like I said, he was trying to protect everyone that was involved. He didn't want people to get hurt. He just needed to protect his family. He was in too deep and he needed to survive. So yeah. Anything else that you liked about the show? Favorite scenes, episodes?
No, I don't know. I think I've said all my piece.
All your piece with that one. There was a screwed up part though with the daughter where she goes out and like sleeps with like this older guy. She's 15 years old or 16 years old.
That was sad.
That was screwed up. I thought that was really messed up.
Did you see what she was wearing though?
Don't make Claudia. You're
even
making
she
her
said
the
it. It's
victim.
2017.
No. Like if I was the dad,
He said that. He's like, can't you put like a sweater on? And he's just like, it's summer and we're outside. Like
this girl's super
she's like,
young.
it's 2017. You can't slut shame, Dad, is what she said.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what she told him.
A pow pow.
So, but then also like what she said to her mom, she's like, I've done things that you don't know. Yeah. And then the mom looks at her, she's like, when you told me what Dad was doing, like you took like my innocence pretty much away. Like they didn't deserve that. The kids were the victims. They didn't deserve like what their parents put them through. Jonah was his name. He didn't want to change his name. He's like, I don't want to be Mike Fleming or whatever the name was.
He's like, I think I'll be called Flem. What do you say?
Yeah, they'll call me
like,
Flem. I don't want to be called that. And once I become Mike Fleming, that means Jonah Bird died. Yeah, and I don't want Jonah to die.
That's sad.
And it was really sad. You also had that weird character, the old man that couldn't breathe that we talked about.
I can't remember his name.
He was cool. He saved the family. He did what he needed to do. He shot the guy. The shotgun killed Garcia.
Yeah, that part when they were cremating the guy and he was talking about like how he wants to be a tree and give back to everything. Awesome. He's like, really? No.
Nobody wants to be my worms. Yeah, that was the word. And actually, I was thinking, yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson wants to be like buried like that and give back to the earth. And I was thinking, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Danny and me are always saying that we want to be tree. He doesn't want to be.
I don't want to be buried in a box. I always tell Pablo,
you better
not bury me in a box.
How do you want to be buried?
Not in a box. I want my ashes to go back into the earth. Probably under a big tree.
If you get cremated, nothing goes back into the earth.
Yeah. No, like me, I
want to... But if they plant my ashes under a tree...
No, that won't happen. There's a way for you to actually become a tree. Like, there's a process that goes into it. Like, you won't be cremated. Like, there's something else that they do to give you...
I don't know what they do.
Well, you gotta send me the link so I can share it with you.
Danny and I talked about that because I told him, I'm like, I'm going to give all the organs that are usable that other people can use, and then the rest of me, I just want to become a tree in Roma.
In Roma.
I can shade people.
What kind of tree? An
avocado tree?
I can shade people from beyond.
I want to be an avocado tree.
And then I want like a little plaque on my tree that says, "Can you believe this used to be a person?"
And I'll go, oh my God.
You're gonna get like, I'm not going to your funeral.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, but yeah. So you won't if you become ashes. Just FYI. What is it? PSA. If you're ashes, your body will not go to the earth. You'll just be waste.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sure
maybe a diamond or something. Oh, the lady wanted to become crushed into like a diamond to be cremated and then created into a diamond.
Oh yeah, when he takes over the funeral expenses.
That's what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that was I heard of that. Like you get compressed and become like an artificial diamond or whatever.
That's crazy.
So you can do that.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Cool. So That's Ozark. How would you rate this?
How many money bags?
How many money bags? Or like, yeah.
Money bag
clean
emoji. How many would you give it, Jim? You're always the last one. You're first this time
I'm
because you
first
have
this
it.
time?
You have it fresh in your brain.
I'd give it 10 laundry baskets.
Wow.
You know what I'm calling them? 10 money
money
bags.
bags.
Okay, wrapped money in money bags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd give it. I love Jason Bateman and I love the show. I didn't think there was any real faults. The characters were all pretty good. Made you feel uncomfortable. I thought it was pretty good. That it was really good. I liked it.
I would say 9.5. I don't know what would have made it that 10, but 9.5 because it was good. It kept me hooked. It was, an interesting original plot, a lot of money laundering, a lot of learning how to be evil, and I liked it. 9.5.
Yeah, there was not a lot for me to hate, or to remove from it. That's the problem. That's why I gave it a 10. And I like the pacing. I like how it was intense and all that stuff was really good.
I like the icons. Icon?
You know what? If there's anything that icon is a person.
Did you notice that at the
Icon is a
beginning
person.
of every
Yeah.
episode it gave you clues as to what's going to happen?
Yeah.
It does.
I
like
was
that.
creative. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Maybe that's the only part I didn't like.
Why?
I don't know. I thought they were low quality.
You're like, I could have done.
You know what? I give it a
Have you seen our
9.75.
logo? It's pretty good with the icons.
Like we started like in the middle of the show, probably like the 5th episode is when we started noticing.
Really? It took you 5
hands.
episodes?
Yeah, I'm
I
like,
saw it in the
the
like
baby.
I saw it in the first one, but then in the second one, I realized what was happening, and then from then on, I tried to guess what was going to happen in the
Based
show
on
based
that.
on the So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I gave you clues.
Yeah.
So that was cool. What would you give it, Melinda?
I think maybe like 8.5 money bags. Just because that gun scene upset me. It made me so mad but I thought as far as shows go, I thought it was a really, really good show. It said what Breaking Bad did in 6 seasons. It did it in 10 episodes. So it went fast. It got to the point.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman, of course. So I guess like 8.5 money bags.
8.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there were
It's
scenes
fair.
that did bother me, that
Yeah.
upset me, that FBI guy annoyed me. So yeah, 8.5.
Cool.
What do you think is gonna happen in the next season?
If there is a next season, which there probably will be.
There is.
There is.
Oh, they already said
got
spoilers?
approved,
Okay. No, so I didn't know that, but I assumed with all the loose ends, they left it wide open for it. It's just him doing pretty much the same stuff, getting more intense, bringing in the new cartel people and just raising the stakes. I mean, they have to. They'll go into that whole thing and just, it's going to be crazy, I think.
Learn some more money laundering terms. I'm excited about that
There you go. Like they're practical
for the future.
skills. Yeah, of course, of course. What do you think?
I'm scared of what him working for the Snells is gonna be like. Because what they would do is that purple flower. No, what was it?
They had a poppy
The
field.
So it's
Poppy
heroin.
field, yeah.
It's pretty much heroin.
So we're gonna learn like a different side of money laundering. Because over
Well,
here,
the money laundering is what he deals with. The drug production is what the Snells
what they
do.
do.
Yeah, and
So Marty's thing was let's work
combine
together.
it. Yeah,
And then the wife.
yeah. She has a temper.
Yeah, she's pretty out there. I'd be super scared of her.
And, yeah. She's crazy. You'd be insane. I was almost worried that she was going to do something to Marty, but he was protected. I thought. Yeah. Anything else you want to add? You good?
I'm good.
Cool. Well, that's our review on Ozark. Thank you for watching. And again, we are Nerd Mixtape. Follow us on Twitter at Nerd Mixtape. Please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. That'll help us out and let people know.
And on Facebook, facebook.com/nerdmixtape.
And whether you agreed or disagreed, make sure you let us know on Twitter. We want to know.
We do.
Thanks for watching. Bye. Awesome.
We should
We'll see
do
how
like a
this-
nerd sign off.
Nerd sign off special edition. What? What is that?
Like Chewbacca's.
Okay, do your
Or like Ewoks.
classic Ewok. Did you hear that?
No, what did you do? Okay.
Yeah.
How many times? Let's take a vote. How many times do you think Claudia yawned in this episode?
Oh man, I knew you were gonna say that.
Let's take a vote. We should do this after every newscast, like every podcast. Guess how many times Claudia yawned. I'm gonna guess 4.
Oh, I was gonna guess 4 too. I'll do 5.
You can do 4.
I'll do 5.
5 times?
No, okay, 3. Let's do 3.
Okay, my guess is 4. I don't.
Okay, Claudia. So I talked to Melinda about this. Dunkirk. Within like the first minute when we started recording,
Claudia,
you're like, and then Melinda looks at you like,
you ate your yawn.
yeah.
I did not.
You did.
It's involuntary. Like I just get the tickles and I just need to yawn.
Is that what it is?
Like I'm getting them right now, but because I'm talking, it's not happening. But I'm pretty sure if I wasn't talking, I'd be yawning.
Yeah, sure. I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Marty.
'Cause I'm still breathing.
Oh, no.
That's rude. Just as I started singing.
No, I was talking about the waveform over here. What?
That's rude.
Test 1, 2, mic check. 1, 2. Perfect. Oh, shoot. What the?
Why are you cursing on our podcast, Jim? What the
I know,
heck?
it's PG-13. PG?
What the fudge nuggets?
Oh, wow. That's harsh coming from you.
Handsome nerds out there are like, ooh, Melinda and Claudia.
Is that what your goal is? Is that if you were to write a comp plan, it would be like the goal is to attract
The
male
opposite
nerds.
sex. Yeah.
Okay.
For more
They're
views.
watching.
Like
Use her sexuality
Sexy nerds.
Use her sexuality to attract more
The
viewers.
sexiest nerdy show you've ever seen.
Oh my god. You've just pressed play on the Nerd Mixtape. Thank
That
you
was so
for
boring.
oh my god. My god, how